Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the New York City Real Estate Expo. I am Michael Romer, co-managing partner of Romer Debbas. I am happy to be joined today by my other half, Pierre Debbas of Romer Debbas. Pierre, how are you?
Michael, what's going on? Long time.
You know, it's not every day that the two of us get to do one of these, and we're about 20 feet from each other. So we're here in our offices at 275 Madison Avenue, the corner of 40th and Madison in Midtown. And, a couple of great things we want to talk about first, before we get into real estate education. But Pierre and I had the honor of just celebrating our 10th anniversary. So 10 years of the two of us together. And I am certainly grateful for my other half here. And we're really proud of what we've done over the last 10 years. So in terms of what we have done, so we started off with a firm of just the two of us, and we've now grown the firm. We have about 24 lawyers now, over 40 people. And the firm was really built to be a full service real estate firm covering all aspects of real estate: residential purchase sales, commercial purchase sales, leasing, as well as co-op condo board representation, residential and commercial lender representation, and then trust and estates and litigation. We really have built it out to be a full service real estate firm. But Pierre, the way we've gone about getting our business has certainly changed. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone who obviously has gone through this pandemic and suffered loss, and so certainly our sympathies on that front. But as we encountered this ourselves, and we certainly had our own challenges, as did the real estate market in general, we really looked at it and said, well, what do we do? We used to go into offices, whether they be commercial or residential, and do presentations on various topics. How do we get in front of people? How do we help people stay connected? Now, years ago, Pierre and I created a continuing education school. Effectively, the New York Real Estate Center, we did create this a few years ago, but that was predominantly for in-person education, where we would conduct continuing education classes for both residential agents and brokers and commercial brokers, whether it be fair housing, commercial leasing, all sorts of topics. But then the world changed. And we had to look at this and say, well, what do we do? How do we get in front of people? How do we help people stay connected? And ultimately, that's when we really decided to launch this online education platform. So Pierre, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about the New York Real Estate Center?
Yeah, so it's interesting. There will be a number of silver linings that come out of this incredibly difficult experience we've gone through last year. And I think one of them is how we did change the way we operate as a profession and society. And one of the things that we try to get ahead of was, how is education going to be issued, and how do you touch a much larger scale of people moving forward? And it's really just by utilizing the online platforms that are available through obviously the internet and all the smartphone devices and all the apps on our TVs these days. And Michael and I really wanted to take our continuing education platform and go online. And we've touched, I think we issued 10,000 certificates during the pandemic in the last year, which has been incredible. Because where would we've ever touched 10,000 people, in the course of a year? It would have been virtually impossible. So the cool thing that what we developed is a very, broad scope of materials and topics for both commercial and residential real estate brokers, even starting with the basics of broker licensing, in hopes of getting to meet people at their first day of the profession and provide their requirements for licensing, and then subsequently your 22.5 credits every 2 years moving forward from there. And it's not just credits, because also another thing that's been very difficult with this whole pandemic and shutdown and people being remote in various parts of the country, has the real estate community have any interaction and stay together? And how do we compare notes? And how do we brainstorm together? And how is there any organic conversation as opposed to just simply a lecture? And we came up with a series of webcasts that feature the two of us and probably 25 of the top real estate professionals in New York City. And the webcasts are meant to be anywhere from general topics for what we do as real estate professionals, to very timely topics in terms of what's going on in various segments of the market at that given time. And it's been great. It's been a great way for us to hear the issues other professionals are having, talk about, because we're both real estate lawyers by trade, how we address them in our day-to-day, business activities. And it's really, it's been a lot of fun. And it's something that I think that will really stick for the foreseeable future. We're hopeful that once we can go back to do these things in person, it's a combination, because in reality, I'm sure we'll all have Zoom fatigue for doing this for 13 months consecutively, but you can never replace the benefit of a handshake and human interaction. That you can never replace. So in a perfect world, we're going to go back to conducting our seminars on a hybrid model of in person, on a fixed schedule, and all the various online things that we offer. So Mike, why don't you talk about the website and all the what we developed in anticipation of this becoming the trend moving forward.
The interesting thing was, before the pandemic happened, we actually had this idea where we were going to, we actually rented a studio, and we were going to go in the studio and film a full 3-day shoot of 3 days worth of classes, ultimately the full 22.5 credit hours of classes. So we had made all these arrangements, and then sadly the pandemic happened and we had to alter our strategy on the fly. So what did we do? We looked at it and we said, well, let's first contact the state. And we were one of the very first schools in New York that received approval by the state of New York Division of Licensing to actually teach virtual continuing education classes. It's certainly grown over the last 6 to 8 months, and many other companies are now doing it. But we were proud of the fact that the state trusted us in the beginning to be one of the very first test cases. And it was really interesting because a lot of what people would deem our competitor schools started contacting us and saying, well, how did you do this? We would like to do the same thing as you. And ultimately, look, we're good guys. We try and share our expertise, but to some extent, we can't, give away our playbook.
Not trade secrets.
We're not going to give away our trade secrets. And we've put a lot of time, energy, effort, and yes, money into this. You talk about the website. So the website was
Mike, are you able to do a screen share? Are you able to pull up the site while we do this or no?
I certainly can, but now this is Pierre now testing me mid-class to see if I have the technical skills. But let's talk about the website first. So the website is nyrecenter.com. And on this website, we've basically uploaded all of our videos, where these videos are all of our filmed classes and all of our filmed webcasts. And a pretty cool feature is we actually just launched our own dedicated Roku channel. So everything that we've done is going to be uploaded into this website, into the Roku channel, so that folks who do subscribe to the school, which yes, is a pay service. Pierre mentioned the 10,000 certificates plus that we gave. And we did that. We were doing 3 or 4 classes a week to audiences of 250 plus per class, which was the greatest compliment. We certainly had a captive audience. Everybody was home for the most part. And we really saw it as a way to just keep everybody connected. But ultimately clicked and we said, well, we have all this content. What do we do with it? And we were able to then turn it around and turn those Zoom videos into approved continuing education classes for both the residential and commercial brokerage community. And part of that, Pierre mentions these guests who've come onto our webcast and classes. We have assembled a roster of top real estate professionals, the likes of Paul Massey and James Nelson and Melissa Cohen and Vince Rocco and a number of other folks. I think we have got about 20 or so, because we did not want this to be just a Michael and Pierre show where we're teaching all these classes. We really wanted this to be a platform where you have lawyers, bankers, real estate agents, real estate brokers, sharing their expertise. And that was really important because we felt that there was something missing in New York real estate. There was not a platform where New York professionals could go and learn a little something from other New York professionals. This is a New York specific platform where all of the information is geared towards New York professionals, and all of our classes are taught by New York professionals. All of our webcasts feature New York professionals. And that's really important because there are a number of other competitors in the education business, much bigger than we are, that are focused on this national aspect. We want to focus on our market, the New York market. Now it's statewide. We have a database of over 100,000 real estate agents and real estate brokers in New York State. So while I try and see if I can loop in the website, Pierre, why don't you fill in a little more?
Yeah, so the topics, a lot of them we came up with on our own, and others, so you hear the perspective of, from the legal side. It's also good. We're taught, they're taught by real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, professionals in title insurance, professionals in property insurance, and we really try to attack every side from brokerage, legal, and finance predominantly. And that way you're learning from, every aspect of, what a real estate transaction entails. Historically, it was just Michael and I, our expertise is on the legal side. And we really thought that broadening that in terms of, the information and in the curriculum that's being taught is invaluable, which I don't think a lot of other, real estate education providers do. And it's been a good, a really productive way of doing this, because people have, I think, benefited tremendously from taking these classes. I don't know if any of you guys have ever taken them that are on today, but the response and reaction that we got during the last year has been wonderful. Our practice, our law firm is a real estate firm focused on residential and commercial purchase, sale, finance, leasing, development, and related litigation. And our transactional practice has thrived tremendously in 2021. And I think a lot of that is from all the, seminars and outreach that we did in 2020, which is paying great dividends now. So Michael was able, I'm glad you can screen shares. I probably wouldn't have figured this out. So
I know for certain you can't, but we've pulled up our website here, which I'm hoping you can see, which really just gives you an overview of what we've done. And you'll see here on the main screen, we've got our featured courses. This is the full 22.5 CE bundle. And then we have what I call the required classes bundle. Now in New York, you have to take ethics, fair housing, agency, and there is a 1 hour legal requirement as well. So this particular bundle would satisfy all of them. So the interesting thing we did is you've got the option to either buy a bundle, buy an individual class, or you could actually become a subscriber. So if you click here, you're looking at the ability to subscribe for $9.99 a month, where you can access everything that we have for $9.99 a month, where you could actually get the individual classes. You could buy these bundles that I speak about, but you could also access the Roku channel, which will be seen in this webcast section. But on the main page, it just gives you an idea of how easy it is just to come to this site. You'll see that a lot was put into this, a lot of time, effort, and resources to make this a modern place. And you'll see also that not only do we want this to be a place where experienced real estate agents and brokers can come, but folks that want to join the business, folks that want to become an agent. So we are an approved vendor for real estate licensing classes, both for residential as well as for commercial. And then you'll see our live virtual courses. Our live virtual courses typically are panel style events. So yesterday, Pierre actually moderated one where we had 2 top tenant brokers, and we had a landlord, and we also had our friend Lois Weiss from the New York Post to give her perspective. And the idea was, let's give a complete perspective of what's going on with the office leasing market. That's just an example of the types of things that we do and the types of people that we bring in. Last month, we did new developments, and we focused on all the new development market and what's going on there. What do we see as the future? We brought in the appraisers. We brought in the brokers. We brought in the real estate tech folks. And it was really a full court press to show the real estate agents who attended another side where they could actually get a full perspective from all these parties and really learn something while at the same time getting up-to-date market information. And then Pierre, here we have these 4 webcasts, which you can talk about.
Yeah, so the webcast we came up where we do each one on one of them per week. The first one I came up with real estate talks with Pierre Debbas, where I'll talk about something that's extremely timely or just came out in the news that impacts our market, or interviewing a professional that we work with regularly. And then we created one called a legal hotline, where it's really meant to be essentially a Q&A session from all of our audience to a lawyer in our firm. And it's a really great way to focus on legal issues, especially for brokers who are working on deals, where we can help chime in on issues on deals that we're not even working on. Really just a way for us to give back to the community and provide free legal advice to all our friends in the business. And then Michael came up with a really good one called the Pro Shop, where we feature a different professional from a different real estate professional once a month for them to talk about their specific role in the real estate community. With oftentimes we'll have an architect come in and they'll talk about what current zoning issues and projects they're working on and what their perspective on the marketplace. And then the last one is real estate coaching, which really, because a large part of what we're trying to do is create the broker licensing component of this. And the real estate coaching gets an experienced manager from a brokerage firm to do a session basically geared towards trying to coach young to intermediate agents and how they go about their day-to-day business, how to market themselves, how to create a business. So a lot of things that are extraordinarily beneficial that are outside of the whole realm of issuing credits or issuing a license. So these webcasts have been great. They stream live on Facebook. Our Roku channel has, and our website has a whole catalog of all of them. There's probably 40 or 50 of them in the aggregate at the moment. Excuse me. And it also gives us an opportunity to take our instructors, and they're all 25 to 30 minutes each segment. So they're not right, perfect sweet spot for everybody's attention span. And we get all our instructors to be able to, highlight them throughout these webcasts and, be able to get in front of a lot of people. And the instructors have benefited a lot from expanding their networks, and the people attending have learned a tremendous amount. So that's pretty much it on the webcast, I guess, right?
Yeah. The interesting thing is we're trying to build a community where, as we've grown this, real estate agents and brokers who have joined, we want them to feel like they're part of something, that they're part of this platform where they can get regular information. We typically do our webcasts or our classes Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock every week. And then the concept is that we upload all of our content to the Roku channel so that people can watch this material in Netflix fashion, where you can pick the shows you want, you can pick a topic you want, and you can really watch it. You'll be able to access this on your phone, your laptop, on your TV at home, which is really cool. So we wanted to actually do this in a creative way. Anybody can film things and just put them online and say, hey, buy our stuff. And that's not what we want to do. We want to build this platform and keep refreshing it with recurring content so that we're talking about modern issues that are impacting all of us. What was the real estate market like last year during the pandemic? How were deals getting closed? How were remote closings working? What was the perspective of the lender, the perspective of the appraiser? What are property values today?
Well, Mike, we should have our instructor list. You click on that page.
Let's see here if this allows me to do it, and it certainly does. So this, just to give you an idea, you'll see our instructor page. Obviously, we have our friend Melissa Cohen. We have Pierre. We have our partner, Michael Feldman. By the way, folks, this is Pierre's picture from 10 years ago, which he refuses to update. So that's not the real Pierre, I'm just saying. So Michael Feldman here is our head of our real estate department. Then we have Cale Goodman. Cale is the president of Market Proof, a great real estate database he has the information of every single piece of property in New York City. So it's a real estate technology database, and he's a great resource. Cale, years ago, was the owner of Brownstoner. Scott Harris, a broker at Brown Harris Stevens. You'll see Tony Zhao, Investors Bank on the residential mortgage side. Deanna Corey, top agent at Corcoran. Nick Malfitano from TitleVest, a great title company. Paul Massey, the CEO of B6 Real Estate Advisors. Paul's just a great resource. Heather McDonough-Domi, who is with Compass. She's also one of the founders of NIRAC. Our friend Eric McClendon, who owns his own title company. And then we have James Nelson, area head for Abbas and Young, Sarah Orlinsky-Maitland of Compass, Vince Rocco, who many of you know. Vince is not only a great broker, but he has his own radio show here in New York. You have this fine gentleman who I can't say enough about. And then we've got our litigation partner, and so on and so on, and we go. I mean, we don't need to go through this full list, but it just gives you an idea of the expertise that we're bringing to you. And when we're talking about this whole concept, and although this isn't open to Q&A, we do put this out there. And if you get the chance and you want to email us, please do. So our concept is, our hope is over time, and we understand that the whole world got their real estate credits for free in the last 12 months. We understand that. But over time, our hope is that folks would see value in what we're doing and subscribe, for a nominal fee of $9.99 a month, become part of our community and access everything that we're doing on a regular basis. The alternative is for people who just want to buy a la carte. Let's say they need fair housing and they want to buy that fair housing class. Well, they can do that as well. But the most economical way is for the agent or broker to actually subscribe. And that was really an idea that we had. We hope that it pays dividends over time. We've had great success so far with folks subscribing. And then we get folks who elect to actually buy just individual classes or the full bundles. But the idea really was, whichever way you want to purchase content, we want to be able to accommodate it.
Well, Michael, also talk about the promo we're running now too.
So it's a great idea and a great segue. I feel like we're doing an infomercial, but when we're looking at the promo that we're doing, it's $9.99 a month, and this is for a limited time. We're typically $14.99 a month, so we're offering a $5 a month discount for anyone who joins. Anyone who joins our community, who actually becomes a subscriber, they will save that $5 a month for the whole year. We do ask for a year membership. And, because the idea there is, we don't want to have a situation where somebody can pay $9.99, complete all their credits, and then exit out. We had a few folks that actually tried to do that. And this really is set up where we want people to stay. And we want to do it in a nominal way. This is a quantity game for us. We want to offer this to every agent and every broker in New York State. There's so much national content with out-of-state providers, where somebody in Ohio is teaching a class and an agent in New York is watching it. We want to be the opposite of that. Pierre and myself have been involved in real estate education for years. We both teach continuing education classes, but we also handle real estate training in many of the top brokerage houses throughout New York. And this is a way for us to just stay connected and give back at the same time. And you'll see that we've covered everything. I see a question in the chat room with respect to folks who are quote unquote grandfathered, where if you previously had been in the business for a while and you did not have to take continuing education classes, well, the party is over. Sadly, you now have to take continuing education classes, but luckily we've got a solution where you could actually come to us and we'll provide you everything, where you'll be able to take all of your required classes when you want and where you want. You don't have to sit in a stuffy boardroom. You could watch these classes from your office, the comfort of your home. If you're commuting into the city, you could watch it on a train. And that was the design. We said to ourselves, how do we watch our continuing ed? We're all busy, but more importantly, Pierre, I think as the world changed, we've all become so remote focused, where we need to actually be able to function fully wherever we are, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about yesterday's topic, the CE class that I moderated the panel on about the future of office leasing, one of the biggest sentiments in that panel is that this work remotely idea is going to be something that's implemented permanently in how we function as a society. Not permanently in the sense that people will be remote forever, but there'll be a remote component in terms of how we operate. And people will be hybrid, and people will elect to work from a different state for a week, or elect to kind of work remotely a couple of days a week, every single week. And you have to adapt to be able to conduct every aspect of your business in an office and virtually simultaneously. And I think if you're not able to adapt to that, your business is going to struggle significantly. So in creating, our platform, The goal was to be flexible and to be able to, touch everybody and be in contact with everybody and provide all the information in every manner we can possibly think of. Thus the Roku channel, thus the app on the smartphone, thus the website, and obviously again, back to in-person something at some point in our lives. Anthony, it's good to see you, buddy. Why don't we let you turn it over to you for a little bit?
Now, Anthony, first of all, congratulations on what you've done with the New York City Real Estate Expo. I mean, Pierre and I have been with you for the last 10 years, but to see how you adapted this expo, during the pandemic and to make it virtual, kudos to you. It's very impressive.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Pierre. And Pierre, you look exactly like that picture. So you don't have to.
Don't tell him that.
You don't have to. You don't have to
make you
change
call
it.
my wife later and tell her that too.
You must be putting that grease and formula in your hair. But you're looking good, Pierre. You're looking really good.
Thanks,
And guys, yeah. Thanks, Mike. We just had a little seminar on networking, and it's very true. It's all about digital moving forward. I mean, even if we did get back into the live shows, which you guys were such a big part of those live shows, you were always there backing us up, supporting it, sponsoring. We miss being with you guys. We love having you accredit all those courses. And by the way, just so everybody here knows that, and we will be putting out an announcement, we are going to be doing this virtual event as well, adding bells and whistles to it with Remo, with the networking rooms and some live entertainment. But Michael and Pierre's school will be accrediting they will offer the CEs for the November event. And that will be a 2-week virtual event. That's going to be a very large event because a tremendous amount of our exhibitors want to come on board and do this, offer the 30-minute presentations or the 1-hour panels. So again, guys, I'm very impressed. I'm very proud of you guys. You guys have really grown. I mean, I remember Pierre with maybe 2 or 3 people in his office, and he brought Michael in. Because he brought Michael in, everybody followed Michael. It
was as simple as that.
But really, now you guys are up to how many attorneys at your office?
I believe about 25.
Yeah, about 25. Yeah.
That's a big office.
And I tell you, we're proud of them all because the world has changed, and it amazes us to this day. And the residential market in particular is extremely busy right now. And we have folks at home, folks in the office, folks who are hybrid. It's such a combination of personalities, and the idea of getting this volume closed in mostly remote fashion. It's a testament to everybody's hard work. So we're proud of our entire team, and it's really, to bring this home. I mean, you look at what you're doing here. The world's gone remote, and the world has gone virtual. Things will get back to normal as it slowly is. But we truly believe, and I know you agree, there will always be a virtual aspect to this now.
Always. And again, we're going to always, when we move forward with this, we're always going to have both options. We're going to make our shows live. And of course, we're going to add the virtual component to it. And so we can have it on demand. So we know that we can't live, without each other. We need it both. We need the virtual because it's always going to be a lot of guys are going to be too cautious, too nervous. They don't want to come. They're too busy. We get it. We miss out on that crowd. So we definitely have to videotape it, make it virtual, and then, of course, bring back the live people that want to come back live. Like I was saying before, but actually, we're running out a little bit of time. But guys, man, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You're very sharp in your industry, and I'm so proud that you're friends. We're friends. We've been knowing each other for so many years. And I'm so happy that you support us as well. So again, Romer Debbas, we're honored to have you here. We're going to have them back in November, and they're going to be moderating big panels. They're going to be putting together panels, and their school will be the School of Credit. They will be offering their credits. Guys, we'll be back in 10 minutes. We've got the new world of commercial financing in today's market. So I want to say thank you to Pierre Debbas and Michael Romer, and we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Anthony.